It's not too late. Take a deep breath. No, seriously. Take one right now. Let it fill your lungs. Hold it for a second and let it go. That breath you just took, that's the only proof you need that it's not too late, that you're still here, that something inside you is still alive and kicking, waiting, watching, wanting. So if you've been staring out the window, watching bikes roar past, watching those helmets blur through traffic, that engine note slicing through the silence of your day, and you've been thinking, man, is it too late for me? Let me stop you right there. No, it is not too damn late. You are not too old. You are not too broken. You are not too far behind. The only thing standing between you and a motorcycle is a decision. That's it. One decision. The decision to try, to begin, to take the first step. And I'm not here to dump spec sheets or flex some top speed numbers. I'm not going to lecture you about CCs or argue V-twin versus parallel twin for 30 minutes. That's not what this is about. This is about you and the part of you that's been waiting too long. This is for the guy who wakes up stiff, hits snooze twice, limps to the kitchen for coffee, then sits there thinking, did I miss it? Is adventure still an option? Am I allowed to want something wild again? Let me tell you something with every fiber of honesty I've got. You're damn right you are. Because here's what nobody tells you. Riding a motorcycle isn't about being young. It's not about being fearless. It's not about having abs or being able to do wheelies or posting thirst traps in your leathers. Riding is about being alive. It's about feeling again. It's about grabbing a piece of life that hasn't been dulled down by bills and meetings and mowing the damn lawn. It's about trading in your gray routine for something that bites back. And you know what? Age doesn't get in the way of that. If anything, age makes it better. Because if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or hell, older than that, you've survived things. You've been through the ringer. You've lost people. You've been humbled. You've seen hard years, not just hard days. And you know better than anyone what freedom really means. So let's stop pretending that motorcycles are just for the young, wild, and reckless. They're for the ones who still want to feel something real. And maybe that's you. Maybe you're tired of playing it safe. Maybe you're sitting there wondering when you're finally going to do something for you. Well, this is your sign. If you've been waiting for permission, here it is. Go, ride, start. And yeah, your brain's going to kick in. It's going to throw all the usual crap at you. What if I crash? What if I suck? What if my knees can't handle it? What if I look ridiculous out there with all those younger guys? Hey, all fair questions. But guess what? Every single rider you've ever seen ask themselves those questions. Every single one. And they rode anyway. Because that fear, that hesitation, that doubt, it's not a sign to stop. It's a sign that what you're about to do matters. It means your heart is awake. It means your gut is stirring. It means something inside you still believes in the thrill of the unknown. And that, my friend, is everything. So let's get practical for a minute. Because you don't just hop on a bike and become Steve McQueen. You need to start smart. Step 1, get trained. No shortcuts. I don't care if you rode dirt bikes in the 80s or zipped around on a Vespa in college. This is different. You're different. Your body's different. Your reflexes, your mindset, it's all evolved. So give yourself the tools to succeed. Take a motorcycle safety foundation, MSF, course. They're everywhere. And they're designed to help real people, people like you, learn how to ride in the real world. You'll get the basics, the habits, the safety drills, the skills to keep you alive and confident on the road. More importantly, you'll walk away knowing you can do this. And that's priceless. Now, once you're trained up, the next step is the bike. And this is where a lot of people screw up. They go to YouTube. They get sucked into the hype. Some 22-year-old kid doing wheelies on a Yamaha R1 tells them they need 200 horsepower to be real riders. Ignore that. You are not here to impress Instagram. You are here to build something that lasts. So pick a bike that makes sense, one that fits your body, your skill level, and your life. Look for something with manageable weight, low seat height so you can flat foot at stops, smooth throttle response, comfortable, upright ergonomics bikes like the Honda Rebel 500, the Yamaha Bolt, the Kawasaki Vulcan Est, or maybe a Harley Sportster if you want something with some grunt and swagger but still forgiving. These aren't toys, they're tools. And tools don't need to be flashy, they just need to work. You want a machine that teaches you, that talks to you, that tells you when you're doing it right, and doesn't punish you too hard when you screw it up. Because make no mistake, you will screw it up. You'll stall. You'll take a turn too wide. You'll forget your kickstand and almost fall over in front of a gas station full of people. It happens to everyone. And when it does, laugh, learn, keep going. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to get better. That's where the real thrill is. Not in being the best, but in becoming something more than you were yesterday. That's the ride. And I promise you, if you give yourself the grace to suck at first, you will get better. You'll get faster, smoother, sharper. You'll stop thinking about shifting and braking and start feeling it. One day, you'll be in a turn, leaned over just right, wine singing through your helmet, and it'll hit you. I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. That's the moment you'll remember forever. And it's coming. You just have to start. So now you've taken the first step. You've decided to chase something for yourself. You've got the fire lit. You've signed up for that safety course. Maybe you've even started shopping around for that first bike, the one that's going to mark your reentry into the world of wind and throttle. Now let's talk brass tacks. Let's talk about choosing the right ride, not the fastest, not the flashiest, but the one that's going to carry you into this next chapter without trying to kill you in the process. You've heard the phrase, ride your own ride. Well, it starts right here with the bike you choose. Because this isn't about proving something to anyone else. It's about building something that matters to you. Confidence, comfort, consistency. This bike isn't your ego boost. It's your companion, your trainer, your co-pilot. Let's kill a myth real quick. There is no cool bike. There's only the right bike. The guy ripping down the highway on a 1000cc super sport in gym shorts and a backwards hat, he's not cool. He's a cautionary tale. Meanwhile, the 56-year-old on a Honda Rebel wearing full gear, smooth as butter in traffic, cool as ice at stoplights, he's the one living the life you want. Because here's what matters: control, comfort, and trust. You need to be able to trust the machine beneath you. Not just when things are easy, but when they go sideways. Because sooner or later, they will. A squirrel darts out. A car cuts across your lane. You take a turn too hot. That's when the bike matters. That's when the time you spent choosing well pays off. So here's what I recommend for guys getting into riding in their middle years. Keep the weight low. You don't need to wrestle with 700 plus pounds right out the gate. Aim for around 300 to 500 cc's to start. That's plenty of power to get up to highway speeds and more than enough to keep you smiling. Ergonomics over aesthetics. Sit on the bike. How's your posture? Can you touch the ground flat-footed? Is the seat wide and soft or a torture plank? Throttle feel matters. You want smooth roll-on, not jerky, twitchy response that punishes mistakes. Here are a few real-world starter bikes that hit all those sweet spots. Honda Rebel 500, low seat, predictable power, easy to handle. Yamaha MT-03, lightweight, agile, modern. Great if you're shorter or want something zippy for the city. Kawasaki Z400, sporty but approachable. A good all-rounder that won't overwhelm. Royal Enfield Meteor 350, classic style, very forgiving and surprisingly fun to ride. Harley Davidson Iron 883 used. A little heavier, but the torque delivery is smooth and the sound is addictive. And for the guys who want to skip straight to a cruiser vibe, look into the Yamaha Bolt, the Kawasaki Vulcans, or if you've got the coin and the comfort, a used Harley Softail Standard. But no matter what you choose, test ride it if you can. Sit on it, feel the controls, make sure it fits your frame and doesn't strain your joints. Because listen, if you're coming back to riding after decades, or starting fresh at 45 or 60 or 70, comfort is not a luxury. It's a requirement. Your knees, your hips, your wrists, those things deserve kindness. And the bike that fits you best is the bike you'll ride more often. Now let's talk about something even more important than the bike: gear. Let me be blunt. You're not allowed to skimp on gear. You are not 20 anymore. You do not bounce. You break. So let's armor up like you actually give a damn about staying out of the hospital. Here's what you need. No excuses. A full face helmet. Not a half shell, not a novelty lid, a DOT or ECE certified full face helmet that protects your jaw, your temple, and your skull. A jacket with armor, leather or textile, but it needs impact protection in the elbows, shoulders, and back. Gloves. You're going to put your hands out if you fall. Make sure they're armored. Boots, not sneakers. Real riding boots that cover your ankles and have a hard sole. Pants with armor. Riding jeans with Kevlar and pads. Or overpants, whatever works, but protect your legs. Some of you are already groaning, but it's just a short ride. It's hot out. I look ridiculous in all that stuff. You know what's really ridiculous? Spending 3 months in physical therapy because your mesh gloves tore apart and your palms took all the asphalt. Looking ridiculous is a state of mind. Looking prepared? That's confidence. That's experience. That's wisdom with a zipper and elbow pads. And trust me, real riders notice. They respect the guy who shows up in full gear. Not because he's scared, but because he's smart. Because he plans on riding tomorrow and next week and 10 years from now. And that brings us to a deeper point. This isn't just a thrill, it's a lifestyle shift. Riding a motorcycle isn't just about the time on the bike. It's the whole package: the preparation, the maintenance, the awareness, the daily check-in with yourself. Am I focused? Am I sharp? Am I ready? Because motorcycling is one of the purest, most honest things you'll ever do. There's no autopilot, no phone scrolling, no drifting through the moment. You are either present or you're in danger. And for a lot of guys, that's exactly what makes it so damn satisfying. You're not worried about your deadlines on a bike. You're not checking Slack messages. You're not half listening to a podcast while making dinner. You are alive right now, right here, with the wind clawing at your jacket and your tires carving through curves like paint on asphalt. That's why this matters. That's why this whole too late idea is a lie. Because life isn't measured by how long you live. It's measured by how alive you feel while you're living it. And let me tell you something. The first time you gear up, fire up that engine, and roll out of your driveway knowing this is your ride, your moment, your shot, it's going to feel like someone handed you back a part of yourself you thought was gone forever. All right, you've got your gear, you've got your bike, you've taken the safety course and passed the test. You've done everything right. Now comes the part that separates the daydreamers from the doers, the first real rides. And I'm going to be straight with you. This is where a lot of new riders, especially the older ones, start doubting themselves. Why? Because that first handful of rides, they can be rough. You're going to stall. Maybe in the middle of an intersection, maybe in front of a car, maybe in front of a group of teenagers with phones pointed straight at you. You're going to fumble the clutch. You'll forget your turn signal's still blinking. You might accidentally grab a handful of front brake and lurch like a horse kicked your front wheel. You're going to feel awkward, exposed, clunky. And that's normal. That's not failure. That's not a sign you're too old or too out of touch. That's just what learning looks like when your ego's still in the room. So let me tell you the truth. The sooner you're willing to suck, the sooner you'll start getting better. Seriously, you need to give yourself permission to be a beginner. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to ride like you've been doing it for years. You just need to ride. Every mile you put under those wheels teaches you something, not just about the bike, but about you. You'll learn how to breathe again at stoplights, how to balance with both feet on the pegs, how to roll on the throttle smoothly instead of jerking the thing like you're trying to start a lawnmower. And those first few victories, oh man, they hit different. That first time you take a curve cleanly, no panic, no foot down, just smooth lean in and throttle out, you'll smile for hours. That first successful freeway merge feels like you conquered a dragon. Even the first time you avoid a pothole or brake for a squirrel without panicking, that's growth. These little moments stack up. That's how skill builds. That's how riders are made. But don't get it twisted. Every mistake is a lesson, not a sentence. Drop the bike in your driveway? Welcome to the club. Clutched too late and stalled in front of a cop? That's Tuesday. Tried to U-turn and ended up in the bushes? We've all been there. Every scuff on your boots, every scratch on your crash bars, every awkward gear shift, those aren't embarrassments. They're milestones. They're the story of you becoming the kind of man who chose to chase something hard. And listen, pride is going to try to get in the way. It's going to whisper things like, "You're too old for this. You look like a fool out here. Everyone else is better than you." Ignore that voice. You don't need to be the fastest guy in the parking lot. You need to be the one who keeps showing up. Because here's a secret most riders won't tell you. Even the pros feel nervous sometimes. Even the guys with 30 years on two wheels still glance at gravel in the turn and wonder if today's the day they slide out. The nerves never fully go away, but you learn how to ride through them, with them. They become part of the rhythm, part of the respect you carry for the machine and the road. And speaking of respect, this is a good time to talk about risk. Yes, riding is dangerous. It always will be, but it's not reckless. It's not Russian roulette. Riding becomes dangerous when you treat it like a game or assume you're untouchable. But if you approach it with discipline, focus, and the right habits, it becomes something powerful, something freeing, something sustainable. That's why you keep your head on a swivel. That's why you scan every intersection. That's why you don't ride tired, don't ride drunk, and don't assume the other drivers see you. Because your life is worth protecting. Because your ride is not a stunt, it's a choice. A choice to live wide open, yes, but also a choice to live wise. So take those first rides seriously and take them slow. Start in the early morning or early evening when traffic's light. Ride through your own neighborhood. Find an empty parking lot and practice figure eights, emergency stops, slow speed maneuvers. Get familiar with how your bike talks to you, how it brakes, how it turns, how it feels when it's upright, leaned over, loaded up with gear, or just sitting there purring like a lion in a cage. And when you're ready, take a longer route. Find a back road. Let the engine breathe. Let yourself breathe. Because once you get over the fear, once the muscle memory starts kicking in, that's when the real joy shows up. That's when it stops being a mechanical exercise and starts becoming something spiritual. And I'm not exaggerating. There's something about the way the road unfolds in front of you. Something about how your thoughts go quiet, how your senses go sharp, how the world shrinks down to just the bike and the ride and the moment. That's not adrenaline. That's not a phase. That's freedom. And once you've tasted it, there's no going back. You'll start planning your week around your next ride. You'll look at weather forecasts the way most people check the stock market. You'll catch yourself daydreaming about twisty roads during conference calls. You'll stop calling yourself a new rider and start realizing you're a rider. Full stop. You belong here. You earned it. And no one can take that away from you. Now that you've felt that first taste of freedom, now that the nerves are turning into instincts and your hands move without thinking, it's time to talk about the next big truth in riding. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You're not in this to be the fastest guy at the next stoplight. You're not trying to impress the crowd or chase a trophy. You're in this to ride for years, to still be throwing your leg over a bike when your grandkids are learning to drive, to take back roads with your buddy on a Sunday morning when most guys your age are talking about knee pain and cholesterol. This is about longevity, because the thing that separates the lifers from the short timers isn't skill, it's wisdom, discipline, patience. A rider with a calm head and smooth throttle hand will outlive every punk who rides like they're bulletproof. So, here's what that means for you. Start riding like a man with something to protect. That means mastering the boring stuff. Yeah, I said it. The boring, unsexy parts of riding are what will keep you alive and grinning for decades. I'm talking about pre-ride checks, chain tension, tire pressure, brake pads, fluid levels. Not because you're trying to be a mechanic, but because knowing your machine is part of knowing yourself. When something doesn't feel right, you'll catch it. You'll feel it because you've taken the time to listen to your bike, to learn its language. You'll notice the click that wasn't there yesterday, the vibration that wasn't in the bars last week, the lever that feels spongier than usual. And you'll act before it becomes a problem. That's how you ride smart. But it's not just mechanical, it's physical too. You need to take care of your own machine, your body. I know you've heard it before. Hydrate, stretch, sleep, eat something green every once in a while. But when you're on two wheels, it's not just about health, it's about survival. Tired riders make dumb choices. Stiff riders miss signals. Dehydrated riders get sloppy. And that's where mistakes happen. Not the oops, I missed a gear kind, but the I didn't see that car until it was too late kind. So, yeah, take the boring stuff seriously. Do the neck stretches. Work on your core. Take a walk instead of skipping your lunch break. You don't need to be ripped. You don't need to deadlift your motorcycle. You just need to be sharp, awake, balanced, flexible enough to lean, strong enough to hold a line, calm enough to ride through chaos. Because the world out there, it's unpredictable. People change lanes without looking. Kids chase soccer balls into the street. Truck tires blow out at 70 miles per hour. And your job as a rider is to stay ahead of all of it, to see it coming, to avoid the hit, to make it home. Not just today, but tomorrow, next week, 10 years from now. That's the goal. And here's another part of the long game: mental toughness. There are going to be days when you don't feel like riding, days when the weather sucks, days when traffic is awful, days when someone cuts you off and flips you the bird for no reason. Let it go. The road doesn't owe you peace. You bring peace to the road. You decide whether you let it ruin your ride or whether you shrug, roll on, and keep your heart light. You're not just a rider, you're a leader. Every time you choose patience over rage, control over ego, focus over distraction, you're setting an example. Even if no one sees it, even if no one says a word, you're becoming the kind of man who moves through the world with purpose. And when you pull into that gas station, helmet off, sun on your face, engine ticking and cooling beneath you, you'll feel it. That quiet pride, that earned calm, that deep knowing that you're doing something rare, something real, something that keeps you connected to who you are. That's what longevity riding is about. Not just staying alive, but staying yourself. Let's take it a step further now: community. Because, yeah, solo rides are powerful. There's nothing like the quiet hum of tires on asphalt when it's just you and the road and the wind. But at some point, you're going to crave connection. And there's a brotherhood out here, a tribe. Not the TV show kind, not the patched up bar fight nonsense. Real riders, real people. The ones who wave at you from the other lane. The ones who help you pick up your bike when you drop it. The ones who nod knowingly when you say, "Had a close call on 285 today." They get it. They've lived it. And riding with them, it's medicine. There's something sacred about a group ride. The rumble of engines moving as one, the way helmets turn in sync, the rhythm of it, the shared silence, the shared joy. You don't even have to talk much, just ride. And afterward, at the diner, at the overlook, at the gas pump, that's when the stories come out. The war stories, the dumb stories, the "I can't believe I made it through that corner" stories. That's where friendship gets forged. In the saddle, on the move, between stoplights and sunsets. So find your crew, or build one. Go to a bike night. Join a local Facebook group. Wave back at the guy on the Suzuki and strike up a conversation at the gas station. You never know who you'll meet. And if you're the only one in your circle who rides, be the one who inspires. Let your people see you thriving. Let them watch you trade comfort for courage, trade routine for something wild. Because here's what I know: somewhere out there, someone is watching you and thinking, "Man, I wish I had the guts to do that." You might be the spark that lights up someone else's life just by riding, just by showing up. And yeah, maybe your knees creak a little when you bend over. Maybe you're a little stiffer than you used to be. Maybe you've got more responsibilities, more bills, a few more reasons to hesitate before you do anything reckless. But here's the thing: none of that matters. You're still breathing. You're still able. And as long as that's true, you've still got time. You've still got the time to chase joy, to chase something that sets your soul on fire, to chase the wind, the thrill, the freedom that only a bike can bring. You might be older now, you might have more scars, but those scars, they're a testament to your experience, your survival, to the fact that you didn't just sit back and let life happen. You went after it. And now you got the chance to live your life wide open. It's not about riding just for the sake of riding. It's about reclaiming something. It's about feeling alive again. There's no expiration date on feeling free. There's no time limit on going after what makes your heart race. And when someone tells you that you're too old, too slow, too whatever, it doesn't matter. You've still got the courage to keep chasing it. You've still got the power to say, "I'm not done yet." Because no one ever gets to the end of their life and says, "I wish I'd played it safer. I wish I'd stayed comfortable. I wish I hadn't chased the things I loved." But plenty of people get to the end and say, "I wish I'd taken the leap. I wish I'd chased something when my heart told me to." So don't wait. Don't wonder. Get on the bike. Start today. It's never too late. You've still got time. I'm Matthew, and this is Autozium. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for riding with heart. Wherever you are in your journey, whether you're still looking at bikes online or just got back from your first weekend ride, I see you, and I hope I see you out there. On the road, in the wind, alive. Ride safe, ride smart, ride free.